Please, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Dec.No. I write for Song, based in Calabar. At the same time, the chairman of Correspondent Table of Nigerian Union of Journalists across the State Council.
Yes, sir. Sir, I need your reaction to the proposed death penalty, on the hate speech for the hate speech bill that the Senate is considering. So,
I think that bill has to do with also the social media and misinformation and all that. In as much as some of us support the social media and the information that goes into the internet need to be a little bit controlled. I still insist that the death penalty they are proposing for hate speech is too harsh for Nigerians, and considering the fact too that the present administration promised us something better than what they met on ground in 2015, and therefore is an ironical, is a quite of kind of an irony for the same administration to turn around who promised us bread and now turn around to give Nigerians stone in the name of death penalty. Of course, in a democratic setting like ours, there's freedom of speech, which is guaranteed in the Nigerian constitution. But we know that freedom ends where another person's begin. So, coming out to try to control the social media, what goes into the social media, or how Nigerians should socialize, or how they should relate to one another in terms of passing across messages or information or news items, so to say, on the side of the journalist is okay for me. But the death penalty, like I insist, is too harsh, it's too draconian. They are referring us back to the 1984 era under the same President Muhammad Buhari as a military administrator. It shows he has not shed his cloak of dictatorship by even attempting to come round with this same law. To me, this social media bill they are trying to produce, so to say, it's like decree number 4 and decree number 2 of 1984. So Nigeria should not accept that. It's not acceptable to some of us who are journalists. It's not acceptable. They should find an alternative means. In any case, what is hate speech?
yes.
What is a hate speech? How do you determine when somebody is passing information that is a little bit distasteful or is not acceptable? Who are the agents that are going to determine what is good and what is not a bad speech? So I don't understand. I think they are in a haste to cage Nigerians. And let us not assume that this is an attempt for them to smuggle in another, like I said, decree 4 or decree 2 through the back door and cage Nigerians, and then they have a field day in terms of government. It's not acceptable to us.
Okay. So, what would you suggest that the lawmakers look at rather? Because the issue of social media, using the social media to sway the opinions and the feelings of Nigerians.
Yes, I know that the internet is a free marketplace of ideas, so everybody can say whatever he likes. But I think with the move they have started making, trying to restrict people or try to, inform Nigerians on how to go about communicating on the internet is a good direction. They should concentrate on sensitizing Nigerians, not to come out with such a bill. There is already a cyber crime law which the security agencies should explore the opportunities to have to either bring it up to the trending thing. I do know that in countries like China, they are restricting information dissemination on the internet, but they do it tactfully and they ensure that the security agencies get to the root of the matter. What in Nigeria, when you make such a law, it's like you're giving the government the opportunity to clamp down on everybody. Even among us journalists, I'm sure they indirectly are trying to get at us. So making law in Nigeria is a different thing, implementing is another. We rather, some of us rather suggest that the security agencies should be more empowered. People should be more trained. We have agencies, Nigerian Communication Commission. We have other agencies, Nigerian Broadcasting Commission. We have Nigerian Guild of Editors. We have Nigerian Proprietors. They should also come up maybe social media bill and see how they can regulate this by ensuring that they are all registered and make use of the modern trend in technology in terms of tracking. If they deploy the latest technology in terms of tracking, some of these issues can be curtailed, not to go and say death sentence.
So recently there was a traditional ruler in one of the southeastern states, say accusing the social media of causing havoc and even inter-ethnic violence. Don't you think the just balance has come at the right time?
Yes, it is true. Nobody disputing the fact that the social media has created a lot of political tension, dissension, acrimony among communities and among various political parties, and even in between political stakeholders. But what I say is that death sentence cannot solve the problem, and considering the fact that we don't trust this government in terms of rule of law, it could be abused. You can see what is happening. Showore is there in our own area here. Agbajalingo is there. These are all the people that have owned a blog, influential blogs, who call themselves social media influencers. It is you can try them like what you're saying, but to say death sentence is not acceptable. After all, Showole and they are all tried under the same government, under the treasonable and all that. But for the social media participants, so to say, regulating them is okay. But like I said, there's a cyber law crime which takes care of the social media. All the government needs to do, I still insist, is to retrain the security agencies, train them, deploy the latest technology in terms of science, in terms of tracking. In China, when you post, they track you straight and block your wall, and that's all. But we don't have such a technology. So that's what I expect the federal government to have done. Deploy or send the DSS people, the security agencies, so to say, and the agencies responsible for monitoring and regulating the social media. They should train the agencies and then deploy very, very sensitive technology and track these people. You can track them. Through tracking, some of those activities can be curtailed, not through death sentence.
Thank you very much,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Can you introduce yourself?
I'm the video day public commentator based in
Okay.
Calabar.
Okay. Sir, we hear that the Senate is considering preferring death penalty on the social media hate speech. So what is your impression? What do you think?
I think that's a very, very harsh punishment if they come up with the death penalty. There are other punitive measures they can adopt, maybe some terms of imprisonment, but going the whole hog to, approve a death penalty for hate speech is going overboard, and it's too extreme, to the best of my knowledge.
Well, sir, but it's in public domain that there are a lot of things, a lot of issues have happened, a lot of crises, a lot of killings, pitching one politician against the other as a result of what is published on social media. Hmm. So, but and they feel that that is the best way. So, what solution? What other ways do you think we can look at?
I think there are measures that could be adopted. One is monitoring. They should have the machinery to be able to monitor the sources of such hate speeches, and trying to pull it down before it causes havoc, than trying to enact a law that is so draconian that will lead to the death of maybe those who behind it. There could be jail and given long jail terms, and there could be devices by security agencies, discrete measures that they could use to trace purveyors of such hate speeches and arresting them and trying to pull such messages down before it causes havoc within the society.
So, what would you describe as hate speech?
Hate speech, I think, to my knowledge, is false information that could be deliberately generated to cause, to wreak havoc within the society, just for the fun of it, and not really to serve any public good. That's the way I look at hate speech. Something, a speech that has no substance, that is false, that is capable of causing serious crisis within the society.
So I could recall some years back, some friends were just playing with themselves on social media, and the other one said, okay, to prevent Ebola, you should use salt. Sir, would you categorize such an information where everybody, the thing down went viral and everybody just got up and started using salt to bathe themselves? Would you categorize such as hate speech?
I think it's within that domain because if the person knew that the consequences of such advice could be so grave to the extent that people die, they shouldn't have come up with that kind of information because
But they
that
were
was.
playing amongst themselves. They were just playing amongst themselves. It's the social media domain.
That's what I'm saying, that people should not go to that extent to endanger people's health by coming up with pranks that are very injurious to people's health and even leading to death in some cases. Such pranks should be avoided, and this law they are enacting would go a long way in preventing it, but it should, and what I'm insisting that it should not be the death penalty. It could be long jail terms or long any other way of trying to prevent such incidents from happening.
Thank you very
All
much,
right.
sir.
All right.
Please introduce yourself to us.
Aneka Ambassador.
Who is Aneka Abasi? I know you're a
I
youth.
residing in Calabar Youth.
Okay. Aneka, have you heard about the hate speech bill that is at the Senate and the proposal being made for death penalty?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
So what's your reaction? What's your reaction about that?
I don't think it's uncalled for. I think government doesn't know what its priorities are. So I think they have to focus on the key priorities. Yesterday I heard on BBC that 400 people died in Nigeria because of pneumonia. Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world. So many indices, Nigeria has been performing so badly. So if you have a responsible government who knows what its priorities are, these are things to focus on, not to talk about hate speech. I think it is one of the most insensitive bills I've ever heard personally.
Okay, but the argument for hate speech, um, being canvassing for a death penalty for hate speech is because a lot of other things have happened, to Nigerians in the political, religious, cultural, and ethnic circle, you know, pertaining as a result of hate speech. So, don't you think? I mean, the right law. I mean, it's not in the wrong.
I still think it's uncalled for. You know, even look at it, what it is, they say to cause, if you say something bad, can cause crisis and all that. Wonder why the Fulani herdsmen have been killing people. Why have they not been prosecuted? They have been killing people since this government came on board. Most Fulani herdsmen have been arrested. Meanwhile, they're killing people up and down. So, if we place that side by side with this speech, what are we talking about? So there's no basis to us talk about punishing people for hate speech. We have the issue of herdsmen that are still killing people up and down.
Okay.
But yet they are alive.
So, what would you prefer? What would you think they should think about? What do you think? What direction do you think?
Not the focus of fighting corruption.
But for hate speech, don't you think there should be what direction do you think they should go when it comes to hate speech?
First of all, we are mixing up issues. People are talking about hate speech, people are talking about social media. I think what we are really looking out for social media people and not actually hate speech. I don't know how many people make hate speeches in Nigeria apart from the major politicians. Their actions, their acts of omission and commission tends towards things that are talking about hiding under hate speech. So to me, the issue of hate speech should not even come up. The idea of social media, which is what they're hiding behind, to come up with hate speech is that the world is a global village, a global arena where everybody should have a medium to talk. The truth will compete with lies, and over time, the truth will overcome lies. Just how you can tackle hate speech, fake news, and all that. What do you think of creating a medium to gap people? I think they're trying to take us 2-3 centuries backward. Which time?
Very much.